My fellow village boys, men, and the village woman,
Girl.
the village and the village girl and the village boy there. My fellow Nigerians, brothers and sisters of this great nation, today here in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory, we formally unveiled the Village Boys Movement, a disciplined, nationwide civic movement built on integrity, accountability, and productive enterprise. Let us be clear from the onset. This movement exists in direct contrast to what has come to be known as the city boy culture and political structure. A culture sustained by access to state resources, funded by questionable public wealth, and celebrated without commensurate enterprise or measurable productivity. We here, and many of you at home, we represent the Nigeria that works before it ends, and those that earn before they spend. We represent the farmer who plants before the harvest, the trader who reinvests before expansion, the artisan who perfects his craft before display, the graduate who studies before competition. Our philosophy is simple. Wealth must follow value, power must follow service, and leadership must follow accountability. For too long, proximity to government has been treated as an economic model. Public office has become a private accumulation. Public revenue has financed political loyalty. Access has replaced evidence, and display has replaced delivery. The so-called city boy movement thrives on access to state-funded privileges. It reflects a political culture where wealth is celebrated without transparent enterprise, where influence substitutes for productivity, and where government resources underwrite personal branding. We reject that motto. My fellow comrades, do we reject that motto?
Absolutely.
So, as you know, we reject that. Some will say capital rejectamento. We stand for end prosperity, not extracted privilege. We stand for enterprise, not entitlement. We stand for stewardship, not ownership of state. This is not hostility towards cities. Let's be very clear about this. It is a moral contrast. The issue is not geography. The issue is the source of wealth, the ethics of leadership, and the structure of accountability. Across Nigeria, as many of you know, millions wait before dawn to generate value without subsidy from public coffers. They farm, they trade, they build, they code, they transport, they teach, they heal, and they create. They survive not through contract, but through contributions. That is the spirit we bring into national politics. The village built Nigeria before oil revenue was ever discovered in Nigeria. The productive class predates the patronage class. We are restoring that balance. In our recent democratic experience, our leaders symbolized that possibility of disciplined governance and fiscal responsibility. And here is the time to mention who that individual is. Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. During his tenure, let me refresh our memory, in Anambra State as the governor, Measurable improvement in education infrastructure, prioritization and prudent financial management demonstrated that leadership can be data-driven, restrained rather than flamboyant and wasteful. He is not a messiah. Nigeria does not require a savior figure. Nigeria requires standards. In him, millions saw evidence that corruption is not compulsory, that modesty is not weakness, and that governance can be conducted without spectacle. The village boy movement draws strength from this standard. And we declare today our motto. The foundation of this movement has the character that we say, we are on board, we are unafraid, we are unstoppable. Fellow comrades, we are unstoppable. That's what we are. On board because our votes are not for sale and our conscience cannot be negotiated with cash. Unafraid because intimidation cannot suppress an informed and organized electorate, and that's what we believe we are. Unstoppable because a movement rooted in communities, not contract, cannot be dismantled by patronage. This is not rhetoric, it is operational doctrine. We are organizing village by village, ward by ward, polling unit by polling unit. We are building structured networks. We are educating citizens on lawful participation. We are preparing to monitor budgets, resist vote buying, and defend democratic process within the boundaries of the law. If anybody is in doubt why we are doing what we are doing, you all saw 2 days ago the bill that was passed in the National Assembly on a record time, less than 24 hours. The president assented to that. And Nigeria, we say, we reject that. That bill must still be amended because that goes against the will of the people. If we allow that to stand, it means one thing and one thing only. The 2027 election would have been rigged before it started. And today, we announced that within the next few days, we will unveil an official date for coordinated 2 million man march in every state of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Each state, including Abuja, will mobilize peacefully, lawfully, in support of governance culture rooted in transparency, prudence, productivity, and in support of P2B as the embodiment of this standard. These marches will not be funded by government money. They will not be financed by opaque public resources. They will not be sustained by patronage networks. They will be powered by conviction. They will be organized by volunteers, that's all of us. They will be sustained by citizens who are on board, who are unafraid, and who are unstoppable. To the youth of Nigeria, your resilience is no longer enough. It must now translate into reform. If not, we would definitely have a problem here because we cannot do this alone. We will have to work with Nigerian youth. If you refuse to sell your vote, youths of Nigeria, that means you are on board. If you refuse to be intimidated by the harness that will see, you are unafraid. If you organize lawfully and consistently, you are unstoppable. Village is not a location. Let's not get this twisted. It is a moral position. We are not angry crowd. We are a structured civic force. We are not seeking revenge. We are demanding reform. We are not waiting for miracles. We are building disciplined momentum. The Village Boys movement is officially unveiled. The contrast is unmistakable. the choice is clear and it is ours. And we move forward together, unbought, unafraid, and unstoppable. God bless you all, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My name is Tochukwu Ezoke, and I am the headmaster of this entity, the Village Movement. So, thank you once more, ladies and gentlemen of the press. In case if there is any question, we'll be glad to take your questions.
Okay, my name is Samuel Kobe-Gordon. I'm from Daily Post, Nigeria. I want to know, there is a similar organization called the City Boys Movement. Is it like a direct counter or anti-Tinubu movement you are trying to launch? And then, is the City Boy, the Village Boys Movement, is it specifically for the 2027 election or beyond? Thank you.
I'll let you take that question.
To my mind, the Village Boys Movement is a direct response to the taunting that we received from the City Boys in the past few days with the vehicles and the razzmatazz that they brought on board, and especially promoting them with people being own brothers. That's like a real affront to those of us who are very obedient, because it felt like they are insulting our leader and insulting Nigerians by making his own brothers the frontline promoters of this City Boy movement. So it fell on us to defend our territory, and that's how these young men and women here who know how to do things on the internet started to produce this. And before you could say, we already are here, and it has become a real force, and it is yes to counter what the City Boys are doing, and also to organize big time in the grassroots to make sure that whatever happens 2027 goes to Mr. Peter.
Okay, any further questions?
Just one more.
Let's take one more.
The Village Boy Movement, we think just a movement that will be an online and a media movement that will be just looking at an Abuja, or we have plans to integrate it in every nook and cranny across the state of the country.
Okay, so we announced that we will be having a 2 million man march per state. In that, we have various state headmasters. That's what we call it, now coordinators, because it's a direct contrast to what the City Boys are doing. We'll have the national headmaster in that sense. That's what I said when I introduced myself as the national headmaster. State headmasters, we'll have ward headmasters, senatorial zone headmasters, then we will still have polling unit headmasters. So this is to ensure that it is not, this is not just a media round, it is a grassroots grounded initiative in order, because what the City Boys are doing, we know that they are buying everywhere with money. Our job is to mobilize Nigerians at the grassroots where it matters to say, guys, here we wait, ensure that we vote and that those votes that we will cast will count.
So will it be safe to say the Village Boy Movement is another movement in support of Dr. Peter?
You can say it's an addendum to, it's still, when you frame it right, it works in pari passu with the obedient movement. In fact, if there are people with energy, if they want to find, found village quaint movement, whatever it is, anything that is going to get us out of this quagmire that we are in, that in 2027 that we will know. Because in 2027, what we are afraid of is, and what that the current government they do have 30 governors. More, is it 31 now?
31 now.
Okay, so you remember there are appendages that is, about 2 states, we know they are APC, but they are in other parties. So it might be 32, 33, but one thing we have to know in 2027 It's going to be the people against the government.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.